All right. You also need to know that sometimes roots are called, they can be called solutions. I believe on today's worksheet they're called solutions. Okay, and other times you will see them called zeros. Okay, so they can be called roots, solutions, or zeros, and it's always talking about the same thing. Okay, and what it is talking about is if I graph this quadratic, and it looks like that. Okay, what is this guy called? Well, it's the minimum, but it's also called the vertex. Okay, your roots, or your solutions, or your zeros, okay, are going to be your x-intercepts. Okay, it is where your graph crosses the x-axis. Huh? What the zeros, the roots, the solutions, the x-intercepts, yep. Today we're talking this whole thing is about our roots. Okay? So in this case, how many times does it cross the x-axis? Twice. So how many solutions or roots or zeros is this going to have? 2. Yep. So there's a root here, and there's a root here. Okay, what if I have a graph that looks like, and my vertex is right here, and my graph looks like that? How many roots are there? Yeah, in this case there would just be 1. This is the only spot. Yeah, but that's the y-axis. We don't care about the y-axis. Okay, we only care about the x-axis. Yep. When we're talking about our roots or solutions, it's only where it crosses the x-axis. Okay, sometimes every once in a while, we have a graph that looks like that. How many roots are there? There are none. Yeah, in this case, there would be no solutions because their solution is where does it cross the x-axis. You don't need to know any of this stuff at all? You don't need to know any of this stuff? You already know all this? Well, then you should probably start writing it down. Okay, so this is all new stuff for the most part. Okay, so when we're doing this, we have x squared plus 3x plus 2. Okay, does this guy open up or down? How do you know that it opens up? Because yep, that number in front of x squared is positive. So if it opens up, does it have a maximum or a minimum? Minimum. I like to say that. Minimum. Okay, what is my A? 1. What's my B? What's my C? 2. Who remembers how to find the line of symmetry? Opposite of B over 2A. Good job. Okay, so what is my B? 3. So the opposite of B is negative 3 over 2 times 1. So my line of symmetry is x equals negative 3 over 2. Now, that's a fraction. Do we want to go up and plug that in to find the vertex? Well, that's kind of, we've kind of figured out that kind of a lot of work, right? So how else can I find my vertex without plugging it in? Yeah. Grab your calculators. Where do we go? Go to y equals. Clear out the equation that's there. And we're plugging in what? No, we're plugging in x squared plus 3x plus 2. Then what do we hit? Then we hit graph. Okay, it opens up. Awesome. Okay, so now what are we looking for? Okay, so we're looking for the, okay, so which is called the minimum, yep. So he's right, second trace. We need 3 because we're looking for the minimum. Okay, it says left bound. What does that mean? Get to the left side of your vertex. Anywhere on that left side is fine. Hit enter. Right bound, what's that mean? Go to the right side. Whoa, easy there. Guess? What do I have to do with guess? Get close to the vertex. Hit enter. Gross. What's it tell me my vertex is? Negative 1.5, comma, negative 0.25. All right, which is like negative 1/4, right? Okay, since we're using our calculators, I'm going to let us use, what? There you go, put it in decimal form. It's Monday after a long break, leave me alone. All right, where does this vertex go? In the middle. All right, so negative 1.5, negative 0.25. If I were to have a number line, 0, 1, oh, that's negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, 1, 2. Where is negative 1.5? Between what and what? Between negative 1 and negative 2. Therefore, what are my two numbers to the right? Negative 1 and 0, yep. What are my two numbers to the left? Negative 2 and negative 3. Well, no, because we're going to do whole numbers. Okay, it will just make your life a lot easier if you stick with whole numbers right now. Okay, all right, so now back to our calculator. Where do I go to find those values? Second graph, because I'm looking at a table, yep. Okay, so you guys got to help me out here. Negative 3, 2, negative 2, 0, negative 1, 0, 2. All right, so now we're going to go over here and we're going to graph this guy, negative 1.5. So that means we're going halfway between negative 1 and negative 2, right? And negative 0.25. We're barely going down, right? All right, and then we've got negative 2, 0, negative 3, 2, negative 1, 0, 0, 2. We graph this into a pretty what shape? Oh, that almost looks like a U. Almost. All right, so now It's asking you for your solutions on the bottom. Right? So it's our two places where x, or where the line crosses what? The x-axis. Where are my 2 points? So we've got to have, there's 2 points I'm going to tell you right now where it crosses the x-axis. What's my first one? Negative 2, 0 is where it crosses, and negative 1, 0 is where it crosses. So those are my 2 solutions. So the only thing I'm adding today is what? Where does it cross the x-axis? Yep, where are my 2 solutions? We're still going to do another one of these because it's Tuesday after 4-day break and we have brain mush. All right, does this guy open up or down? Up. Maximum or minimum? Minimum. A is what? B? C? Oh, you guys are catching on. Oh, is there no? Shoot. All right, so my line of symmetry, x equals, what's B? 0. Opposite of B? Still 0, yep. Over 2 times 1. X equals 0. My vertex, now I'm going to tell you, anytime that your x is 0, finding your y is super easy because you're going 0, what's 0 squared? What's 0 minus 1? Negative 1. I didn't even need my calculator for that. Should just know that 0, negative 1. Not just know, but should be easy to plug in. So this guy goes in the middle. 0, negative 1. Go to the handy dandy calculator. Clear out your equation. X squared minus 1. Graph it. Ooh. How many solutions am I going to have? 2, just by looking at it, right? If I'm looking at my table, what goes here? Negative 1, and over here I've got 1 and 2. How do you find those solutions? Or how do you find those values? Second graph, yep. Second trace if you're finding your vertex, but we already have our vertex, right? So now we're going second graph because we want to look at the table. So negative 2, negative 1, 1, 2. What's it called that when I have the same answers on each side of my vertex? Symmetry, good. And it's good to have symmetry, right? If I don't have symmetry, I did something wrong. All right, so 0, negative 1, negative 1, 0, 1, 0, negative 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. This makes a really pretty U shape. And my solutions, Alex, what's my first solution? Negative 1, 0. Good. And Noir, what's my second solution? 1, 0. The 2 spots where it crosses. Not necessarily, no. Not necessarily. I can see where on these 2 problems it did, but it might be like the ones over here. Okay, just kind of depends. All right. This just, okay, we're going to wait till next hour to talk about that. So, what you are going to get a jump start on starts on page 25. Actually, that's not true because we did page 25. I'm not going to make you rewrite that down. So we're going to start at page 26. We're going to go to page 30. You're not going to know how to do page 30 until next hour.